Welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, home of Orioles baseball, Ravens football, and famous for countless John Waters movies, Edgar Allan Poe's grave, and for one weekend each summer, Otakon.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm here at Otakon to introduce you to the world of Japanese popular culture and the American fans of that culture, otaku. If you've never heard of anime or manga or the word otaku before, then this movie is for you. If you call yourself an otaku, own 100 different anime on DVD, a bookshelf full of manga, the hottest J-pop music, are into Japanese culture and fashion, then don't worry. This movie is for you, too. This documentary is for casual fans, hardcore fans, and curiosity seekers alike. Most importantly, though, it's a movie for otaku, by otaku, about otaku. My goal is to give you an overview about Japanese popular culture, its fans, and its fandom. After that, we delve beneath the surface, profiling an award-winning cosplayer, and learn about the deeper motivations at the heart of fandom. Along the way, we explore, document, and celebrate the passions, richness, and diversity of America's true otaku community. Since 1999, Otakon has been held annually at the Baltimore Convention Center near the city's Inner Harbor, a cultural, nightlife, and shopping district. Otakon is a convention for fans of Japanese pop culture. The Japanese word otaku is the term many of these fans use to describe themselves, and that's where the name Otakon comes from, Otaku Convention. In 1999, attendance at the convention topped 4,600. In 2010, more than 29,000 fans were in attendance. Japanese pop culture, or Cool Japan as author Roland Keltz describes it, refers to Japanese anime, manga, video games, music, and fashion. Conventions celebrating Cool Japan are a relatively recent phenomenon and have grown out of a long history of cross-cultural sharing between Japan and the United States. Following World War II, Japan was heavily influenced by American technology, music, and cinema. Walt Disney cartoons had a profound influence on Japanese animated films, or anime. Japanese manga, similar to American comic books and graphic novels, exploded in popularity. During the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, many Japanese anime, manga, and other television programs were adapted for English audiences. Titles like Astro Boy, Speed Racer, Star Blazers, Robotech, Sailor Moon, Voltron, and Pokemon, to name a few, became widely popular in the United States. In the late 1990s and 2000s, an explosion of dubbed and subtitled anime and manga titles flooded US markets. Since the mid-1980s, anime conventions have been popping up all over the United States, giving American otaku a place to share their common interests, learn about new titles, and find rare merchandise. So what is an otaku? Well, different people have different takes on it.
To be honest, I didn't ever know what an otaku was until the first time I went to Otakon, and then they did this whole skit, you know you're an otaku if, and I was going, what is an otaku? And I guess from what I've gleaned from it is an otaku is someone who enjoys anime, I'm guessing. I don't know if there's like levels or something.
An otaku, in a general sense, it means somebody who's into anime and manga and Japanese culture. It's just a certain degree otaku means means an extreme, in my personal opinion.
It's Japanese for geek, nerd, enthusiast. It's actually a derogatory term in Japanese. So, however, it's also one of those things that at least in this country and also in Japan recently, more so because of us, it started to be embraced as almost like a term of endearment.
I may be off, so don't kill me if I'm completely wrong with this. I never studied Japanese, but someone who lives in their parents' house still, who is obsessed with something and doesn't really work on anything else.
It's just like a whole bunch of people pretending to be Japanese, which is kind of funny.
Otaku is just the real love of anime, things of that, anime, manga. It's just the culture itself.
Yeah, otaku is an interesting word because it means something different to everyone. I mean, after, in the 80s in Japan, it was such a dangerous thing because of the otaku killer. And, but to me, as an American, otaku, it doesn't mean just fan. It means anime fan.
The word fan comes from the word fanatic. You have to really love, I think, fans aren't people who just kind of like things. Fans are people who really love it and kind of have a passion for it. So, I mean, to be otaku, it's not just, oh, I like anime. It's I have a passion for this. I want to experience it, and I want to experience it with people, which is why I come here.
I know that in Japan, if I say I'm an otaku, they could say, of what? But here, I would consider myself an otaku with the meaning being anime, manga, and video game fan.
When I was younger in high school, it was a big thing to be an otaku. Like, if you were an otaku, you were like, oh yeah, I'm otaku, and it was cool. But I think since I've gotten older, it's become more of just something we don't really say anymore because it seems almost childish now.
I believe it is used way too often by people who really don't know what it means. It's just become this generic term that some of us use to describe ourselves, but it's really more of others use to describe us. I say if you're a fan, call yourself a fan. If it's your obsession, call it your obsession.
Otaku is a good term because it describes somebody who is not necessarily just into anime, but usually has some interest in anime and then pop culture as well. And otaku, and everyone says it goes both ways. It can be derogatory, or it can be just a terminology like geek is.
I'm one of the otakus. I'm the one who buys all the stuff and then have no money for food and starve the rest of the con. But it's worth it for that Miku doll. That Miku doll.
Yes, I would consider myself an otaku. I'm not obsessive, but it is a big part of my life. I mean, I not only have a blog about anime, games, and fandom, but I contribute to a blog called Japanator about it.
Am I otaku? Oh, that's a hard question. I say yes and no to that because I fully admit that my anime knowledge is dated because when I really got into anime is 80s, 90s, and then really got back into it during the heyday of ADV, Funimation, and really them duking it out. So I would just phrase otaku as someone who is, and this is the phrase that I'm constantly repeating, is someone that is passionate about anything.
Do you consider yourself an otaku?
Mildly. There are worse than I am. I'm fairly certain, but I am fairly otaku-ish.
Okay. Would you consider yourself otaku? Because this is your first convention, or?
I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. So what would you consider yourself then? Just like a passionate fan?
A strange bystander who wears...
A strange bystander.
Who wears blonde wigs for no reason.
Ah. Did your friends put you up to the blonde wig?
No, actually, I wore a blonde wig while I was being Tamari.
I not only attend at least 3 conventions a year, but I volunteer at 2 of them. There's rarely a day goes by where I don't think about anime and fandom and my status as a fan of anime.
Inner circle-wise, otaku seems to start becoming a status symbol of things. And so it really depends on your opinion of it. Personally, in the community, I think otaku is a fine word, It is just, we're otaku. It is what we are. We're fans of Japanese culture. So I'm fine with it.
Do I consider myself otaku? Yes and no, but I consider all of us fans.
Cool Japan conventions like Otakon were created to provide fans a place to gather, to make new friends, to explore and share aspects of Japanese culture, and to express common interests.
Events at the Baltimore Convention Center are geared precisely for that. At Otakon, you could attend concerts by musical guests from Japan, listen in on the latest industry news and company announcements at a panel, or take a workshop and learn cool stuff from other otaku. There's also LARPing, anime showings, late-night raves, an artist's alley, a dealer's room selling everything imaginable, a huge video game room. The list goes on and on. The other big thing happening all around you is cosplay. Cool Japan conventions are like Halloween night on steroids. Almost everyone is dressed up as their favorite characters.
Thank you so much.
Cosplay is, I think how it's broken down is like costume play or something like that.
Cosplay is where you dress up as a character, and I'm dressed up as Belarus today. She normally doesn't wear glasses, but I'm wearing them because I'm otherwise blind.
Well, for cosplay, I like it because it's a creative outlook or way to express yourself.
Okay.
Ways of interpreting your favorite characters, appreciating them, appreciating the actors that play them, and it's a lot of fun.
I looked around and said, wow, this is really pretty. I love all this clothing.
Yeah.
And I already do theater work, so...
Okay, so you do theater and costume work. I do that as well.
So it was very easy just to go, okay, well, I don't fit in right now. Let's go mix some clothing, that'll make it better.
So what got you into cosplay? What made you interested in that?
I don't know, I guess I kind of like the attention. And I don't know, it was a lot of fun looking at people's costumes last year. So I thought I might join in on fun.
You just decided you'd hop right in?
It's fun not to be yourself for a weekend.
Yeah, be whoever you want.
I mean, I'm very girly right now, which is very the opposite of how I usually am.
How are you normally?
Very brash, very loud, very talkative. Not I burp a lot usually.
What's your occupation outside of this?
Actually, I'm a broadcaster for the United States Air Force.
Okay, so very different than what you are right now.
Yes, very different from being a princess.
Well, it's kind of fun because you get to dress up as a character and sort of acting character sometimes. Like, if I see a character who's like dressed up as a Russia's like my big, like, I love my big brother Russia, so yeah, and so I go after him and I'll take any competitors out with the knife, like Lithuania, at least in character. And it's like a lot of fun because it's kind of getting outside of your normal personality and you get to be someone other than yourself, kind of like how actors feel, I think.
In order to actually be one of those people who can become a character, you have to be an actor at heart or else it won't go through. Like, I know I tried a few times, but I just can't hold a straight face. I think I found out, like, if you play characters that people really love to begin with and you look like them, you don't even need to act the character. But just acting it is just like a little sprinkle of something. So it just makes it more fun.
There's different kind of genres of cosplaying, I guess. There are those people who cosplay as like the gothic people or the gothic animes, the occult horror stuff. So those are more people who you would find dressed all in like full head clothes. There are some people who do like the school uniforms, and if it's most of the time they usually do the summer or the fall season semester of the school uniforms, which is the long sleeve coats and the long sleeve pants. My friend, she's cosplaying as an Undertaker from this one anime show called whoops, I forgot the name of the show. Oh, Kuroshitsuji, Black Butler, right. Whoops, my bad. And she has on all black head to toe.